Do you have the I deserve it mentality when it comes to your budgeting? That is the question that we're asking this morning on Ground Zero, Minding Your Money. So stay tuned. Welcome back. Our question today is, do you have a I deserve it mentality when it comes to how you manage your money or how you budget? We are going to take a deep dive into that this morning. I am Nicovana Shannon, CEO and founder of Shannon and Associates Inc., and we provide financial care solutions for our clients in regards to budgeting and just getting on a healthy financial path. And my wonderful co-host Anissa Wright is going to introduce what she does.
Good morning, everyone. I am your favorite family finance advocate, Anissa Wright, and I help families build generational wealth, get out of debt, and build strong financial homes. Nicovana, that's such an excellent question this morning. Do you have an I deserve it attitude, and is it affecting your budget? I mean, come on. I know that I deserve some great things, and I know you deserve some great things, but at what cost do we deserve the things we deserve, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the key word, really, is cost. When you have an I deserve it mentality, it's easy for you to get into the red when it comes to managing your money or even just trying to keep up with a budget. Because if you allow your emotions or if you allow a circumstances to affect you in a way to where you want to spend your money instead of use your money in a more appropriate way that benefits you in the long run, then that's how the I deserve it mentality affects your budget. Mm-hmm. So you know what, since we're talking about budgeting, right? And I know that there are some people out there, and I'm going to play devil's advocate, that feels like a budget is financial jail. Like when they think about a budget, they feel like they are not able to do anything. They pretty much are going to be locked down for a certain period of time. You know, you're telling me I can't do this. You're telling me I can't do that. Well, how, I want to go and buy a new dress, or I want to go buy a new pair of shoes, but because I'm on a budget, I'm not supposed to do all of that. So how do we address that when someone has that type of attitude when it comes to budgeting?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, it's just like dieting, right? When we think about dieting, the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, I can't have this, or I can't have chocolate, or you always think about the things that you can't have. When you choose a diet, you're actually, what you should be focused on is the lifestyle change, not just the momentary, change that you're going to do for this week and then next week to see if you can shed a pound. What you want to look at is a lifestyle change that's going to be a healthier change for you. And that goes the same way with your finances, right? You want to make a lifestyle change for your finances and look at ways of using a budget to show you the things that you can do, right? When you assess where you are and you know exactly how much money is coming in, how much is going out, it allows you to create a roadmap or a goal and show you how to get there. So I like to tell people, if you can just make that mind shift of looking at a budget as a tool you can use to show you how to get what it is that you want, right? Right. Going to show you how to get those things without putting extra weight of debt or extra weight of stress on you. Your budget is going to give you the power to get the things that you want.
Absolutely. And that's the key, because budgeting does empower you. Mm-hmm. It is amazing when you know where your dollars are going.
Absolutely.
And when you really look at a budget, let's just kind of use this as a scenario. You are the CEO of your house, and your budget is what you use to be able to control that, what you would call resource, that limited resource that comes in. So your paycheck, right, is that way of you saying, okay, we have this amount of money that we're going to work with for the month. And so the expenses that you deal with are like your employees, right? I mean, you can decide if they are expendable or you can get rid of them or not.
Mhm.
You have the power to decide how your money flows on that budget. And when you look at it from a standpoint of empowerment, then you begin to realize that if you adjust, if you pivot, if you look at it, if you look at eliminating some things that you may not necessarily need, then you begin to see that you have a little more to use and put aside for savings in order for you to be able to get those things that you really want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's
Well,
exactly right, Nicolana. I mean, because when you have a goal in mind, like I always say, I deserve to go to Greece.
yes.
And I do. And I'm right. And so my budget isn't telling me no. My budget is telling me how.
How?
So
Yes.
it's showing me, okay, now I have this amount of household obligations I need to make sure that I'm paying each month. I have this set aside for my emergency fund. I have this to make sure that I have enough retirement savings. Okay, now that all those things are put in place, and then I have my life insurance. Now all those things are put in place. Now I can start setting aside this amount each month for that trip to Greece. Right. And so all those things that I want or I deserve, that budget is showing me how to get there. And
absolutely.
So that's how we have to see it. That's exactly, you're right, Nicolana. That's how we have to be able to determine, okay, can I get rid of this cable bill? Can I get rid of that employee? Because that employee is preventing me from my business to where I want it to grow to. And right now I want it to grow in order to get me to Greece.
Right.
That bill is preventing that. Do I need to, stop getting my nails done every 2 weeks? Is that bill preventing me from getting to Greece? Whatever it is, the things that you can cut and the things that you can keep in order to reach the goals that you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? Amazingly enough, budgeting really allows you the opportunity to be able to explain where you really are to the next generation, your children. You are able to talk to them about how money comes and flows into the house.
Right.
Because money doesn't grow on trees. And, kids have the mentality of I want, or I deserve. Right. And so how do you feel about that, Anissa? When you speak to your children about money, what do you tell them when they come to you? I want this.
Yeah, we started early. Listen, I am a huge advocate. I'm not one of those parents. I spoil my children, but I spoil them in a different way. I don't spoil them by giving them the things that they want. I spoil them by, nurturing them and loving them and guiding them, things of that nature. But when it comes to the I want, I need, listen, you have to find a way to get those things that you want. And so early on, I taught my children the value of $1, how to work for it, how to own their own business so they can go out and earn that money to get the things that they want. Now, I take care of their needs. I take care of the food, the clothes, things of that nature. But when you want, a new toy or a new iPad or a new phone, whatever the case may be, then you have to figure out a way to earn that income. Budget your money, because yes, at 12 and 14, you can budget. You earn that income. You set aside 50 that you can spend on yourself, 30% that you're going to save for future long-term goals. That includes retirement. Yes, even at 12 and 14. Yeah. And then 20% that they set aside for giving to church or charity or things of that nature. They have a set budget for the funds that they earn from their businesses, and they can get or obtain the things that they deserve now, but by still setting aside or placing money aside for their future goals down the line. So that's something important to teach your children today, right now, so that when they become adults, they become financially responsible, but also for you to model, right? Let them see you budgeting.
Yes.
Using that tool as a means to get your family where you want them to be financially.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that analogy that you used in regards to how you're teaching your children about financial literacy. But you know what? When we come back from our break, we're going to jump into what those emotions look like when it comes to that I deserve it mentality and how it directly affects your budget. So stay tuned. All right. We are back and we are diving right on into what these emotions can do to you
Oh,
when you have that I deserve it mentality and it adversely affects your budget, right?
mhm.
So emotions, we all have them.
Mhm.
We
Yes,
all have them.
yes.
And so, emotions can cause you not to want to talk about money, right? So let's just start there. When you are not talking about money, when you're not talking about money to your partner, your spouse, your family, what type of effect does that have on you? Because if you can't really explain your emotions behind why you do certain things, it can cause friction within your partnership, within your family. So I know fear is one of those things when it comes to I don't want anybody to know that I am this $15,000 in debt. I don't want anybody to know that I am living paycheck to paycheck, literally. Like I literally spend every penny just to live. I don't
Mhm.
want anybody to know that because I feel like they may judge me,
Mhm.
or I feel some insecurity because I'm trying to keep up with uh, sassy Jane,
Mhm.
and we don't know how she's doing what she's doing, right? But because we like how she looks, we want to keep up with her. And
Mhm.
but it's causing hardship for us,
Mhm.
right? What if you are in a situation where you're angry, you're disappointed, and you're trying to find a fix to take you away from that negative emotion. And your fix is money. So you go out and you splurge and you say, well, you know what? I deserve this because I had a hard day at work.
Mhm.
I deserve this because, you know what? I just had an argument with my husband or my wife or my significant other. I deserve this because my children are acting crazy and I need to go out and buy me something to make me feel good. But how does that, Anissa, affect your budget? How does that affect your budget in an adverse way?
Oh, it completely destroys it, right? Because I mean, that's easy to do. It's easy to feel at the end of the day unappreciated and overwhelmed, and looked over, and just flat out, bad, right?
Right.
We want to do something that's going to make us feel better, because we do work hard. We
Mhm.
do put in, whether we're living paycheck to paycheck or we have millions of dollars, we're working hard,
Mhm.
and we want to be able to feel some of that financial freedom
Mhm.
that others we think are have that type of ability. We want to do what they're doing, but I want to
Absolutely.
take a moment to kind of play devil's advocate using
Okay.
what do you deserve? Do you deserve that brand new pair of shoes today, or do you deserve that
Mm.
financial freedom tomorrow? Do you
That's
deserve that
good.
brand new car today, or do you deserve to be lying up on a beach with a drink in your hand at retirement because you saved during your working years? What is that
Yes.
you deserve? When you say I deserve, you deserve what?
Hmm.
And we really have to think about that. We got to look at the bigger picture, something
Hmm.
that's bigger than just that new toy or item you can get today. What's the
Right.
bigger, when you sit back and you look at the lifestyle that you want to live, what's the big picture? What does that look like? That's
Yes.
what you deserve. That's what you want to
Yes.
sit back and say, okay, you know what? I deserve that. Now, that means that you have to be willing to sacrifice, put in the effort, and make the changes that you need to make today in order to have what it is that you want tomorrow. But the point is that you'll get what you deserve, big picture wise, if you make
Hmm.
that sacrifice today. So I think, Nikavana, that
Yes.
attitude, if we can just adjust that I deserve attitude, not saying that you don't deserve it, you can't have it, just
Right.
when and how. I think that's what we
Yes.
really need to kind of, that mind shift change. We need to really rethink what it means to say, I deserve. What is it that we deserve? And what is it that we
Absolutely.
want, truly want?
What do you truly want? Right. Right. So that mind shift is so important Because when you take that mind shift, it absolutely changes your whole thought of what budgeting is. Now, budgeting is that tool, that vision that you have written down and made plain to get you to where you want to be. It's not, it doesn't feel like it's restraining you. It feels like it's guiding you into that thing that you really want.
Exactly.
And you know what? That's really what we want you to walk away with, is knowing that when you budget and you write your vision, your financial vision, and you make it plain and you set obtainable goals on how to reach where you're trying to go, it absolutely motivates you when you start seeing things line up. When you start seeing your finances play out in a way where it actually is working in your favor. And then your mind takes, you get off of Sassy Jane, now you focused on traveling to Greece. Are you focused on, getting that car that you want? Are you focused on buying that home that you want? And so your focus changes. You actually do that mind shift. And so that's something that we absolutely want to encourage our tribe to do, is to not look at it as a constraint, but look at it as a way of gaining your freedom. And surprisingly enough, the sooner you set a budget up, the faster you become financially free. Because the last thing you want is to have debt on your shoulders, to have unexpected expenses come up and you don't know how you're going to take care of it. I mean, there are so many scenarios that can happen when you don't plan.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And before we dive into what a great budget looks like, or a great financial plan, what that looks like, we're going to hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Yes.
So Nikavana, you were saying what we were talking about creating a great budget. What is involved with creating a great budget, a great financial plan? Because that's when we start there, that's going to lead us on that roadmap that road to financial freedom. We need that map that is that budgeting, that financial plan. So how do we start? Where do we start?
Well, you know what? Let's just start with an emergency fund. Let's just start there. And so let's just talk about what an emergency fund means, and this will give us a great example of what an emergency fund means. What does that mean?
Exactly what you're saying. So if anytime you have an expense that comes up that you weren't expecting, but you have to pay for it, that's an emergency, and you need funds to pay for that emergency unexpected expense. So whether it be a flat tire, or maybe the dishwasher went out, maybe the AC went out, maybe COVID hit.
Yes,
right. And we lost our job, and now we have to pay the mortgage and everything else. We weren't expecting these expenses to pop up, but now we have funds set aside, 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses that we've set aside in order to take care of those items that we weren't expecting that we would have to take care of, right? So that's what emergency fund is. It helps you, it's money set aside that you can utilize to pay for unexpected expenses, so you don't have to pull out that credit card and start swiping.
Right.
Start swiping, that's just more debt on top of the debt that you're incurring by putting on that credit card, because now you have to pay interest on top of that debt. So you definitely want to have some money set aside for those emergencies.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? Once you get that emergency fund thought in mind, and you begin to put those funds aside for those, like we said, a busted up tire or anything that's just totally unexpected, another level to that is beginning to train yourself to put aside 3 to 6 months of living expenses. So yeah, you do have unexpected expenses to happen, but what's even better is when you're able to have 3 to 6 months of living expenses, which really covers the functionality of your house, all the expenses that you take care of to live day by day. That's important as well. So what are your thoughts on that, Anissa?
Yeah, absolutely. I think both. I think that they tie in together, right? That 3 to 6 months in that emergency fund, making sure you have enough money set aside that if anything crops up, that you're ready, that you don't
Mhm.
have to pull from your 401, or you don't have to
Yeah.
go to a loan shark to pay those expenses. You
Right.
have that money set aside so
Mhm.
that you could pay those expenses, but you can't create an emergency fund until you first assess where you are, right? You have to first
Right.
determine where you are financially. How much money is coming into the house? How much money is
Mhm.
going out? Are there
Mhm.
certain expenses that can be cut, and so you can go ahead and fund your emergency fund? How much money do you
Absolutely.
currently have saved? Do you have life insurance?
Exactly.
Nick Ivana, I cannot tell you how
Mhm.
incredibly important it is for every family to have life insurance outside of the job. Now,
Mhm.
the insurance that you have with your job
Yes,
is
that's
completely
good.
different than having personal life
It
insurance.
is.
That life insurance, they own it, and
They
it's
do.
for a reason.
Right.
Making sure that you have a life insurance plan so that, God forbid, if something were to happen to you and you didn't have time to put
Mhm.
money in that emergency fund, your
Mhm.
family is taken care of. That's
Mhm.
incredibly important. So having that foundation of good life insurance, making sure you assess where you are so you know what money is coming in, what money is going out, having that emergency,
Yes.
that is the basis of a strong
Absolutely.
financial plan and a strong financial home.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you know what? I mean, we can just continue on in regards to different levels of savings, right? But
Right.
it's important that you pay yourself.
Yeah.
It's important that you pay yourself. It's great to make sure that your emergency fund is good and your living expenses are good. All of that ties into it. But paying yourself actually gives you that bucket of money that allows you to start doing the things that you want to do,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
You know, what's the point of working if you can't enjoy the money you're working for? Right? I
Right.
mean, what better, nothing to make you quit faster in creating a strong financial plan is not seeing the fruits of your labor.
Right.
That's extremely important. So, you know, you make sure that you have that life insurance, you make sure you have the emergency fund, you make sure you can pay the day-to-day expenses. But then, like you said, you have that account set aside for retirement so that you can live out your
Mhm.
retirement comfortably. Then you have
Yes.
savings account set aside for that trip to Greece,
Yes.
or that brand new toy that you've been
Mhm.
wanting for so long. You have to be able to pay yourself so that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. We're not living to work. We
Mhm.
work to
To
live.
live.
That's
Exactly.
the goal. And so we have to make sure that there's a great balance there. Again, going back to what you deserve. You deserve financial freedom. You
Yes.
deserve not to live paycheck to paycheck. And setting
Absolutely.
it up this way, you can enjoy that plus the fruits of your labor because you have a plan. And
You have
that
a
plan is
plan.
called your budget. And when you
Yes.
wield it as a weapon, as a tool
Mhm.
to achieve that goal, you're going to slay that dragon of debt,
Right.
slay that dragon of, financial bondage.
Mhm.
The freedom that you experience. Nick, but I don't know about you, but it's better than chocolate. When I can pay off the
Oh,
bill,
yes.
that creditor, or whatever the case may be, it's
Right.
the best feeling in the world. And when you work so hard to obtain that
Mhm.
financial freedom, there's nothing like it. So keeping up with Miss
Nothing.
Sassy Jones or whatever the case may be, I'm
Yes.
telling you, that feeling alone is
Mhm.
beyond incredible. So those are the things that you deserve. Again, going back to that mentality, that mind shift. What is it
Mhm.
that you really deserve? You deserve financial freedom, and having a budget helps you to get there.
It does. It does. And we can't reiterate enough the importance of having a financial plan, having a budget. And if you don't know where to begin, you can ask us. We, either one of us or both of us, can help you with understanding the importance of setting up a budget and a financial plan for you and your family. It
Absolutely.
absolutely prepares you for the future. It gives you so much empowerment because now you know what you're going to look like in 5 years. You may not be able to predict what it's going to be in 5 years, but you can absolutely plan. You
Yep.
can absolutely plan for the next 5 years. And even if there is a shift in it, you still have a plan. The plan can be adjusted. It
Right.
absolutely can. But it's wonderful when you know, okay, this is our set goal. And what begins to happen is like everything begins to align up. Everybody understands their part. They play. Everybody gets what they're supposed to do. Then it begins to feel even more secure for you, because now everybody is on board. Oh, you got everybody bought into this vision, this purpose. We got a goal. We're trying to make it. And then, you know what? Once you get that plan in place, you're even your creative juices begin to happen. You may be able to come up with more ways of making money.
Yeah.
You may be able to, because you're living so much into your means. You may be able to invest in something that can give you a return. You know, I mean, there are so many things that can happen when you just take that leap and you really put into play a true financial budget, a financial plan, or a budget. Either way, they're one and the same. So it's just so important for you to know that emergency funds, your life insurance, putting money aside for yourself, investing in your future, those are essential. They are essential. We don't consider those as options.
Right.
We consider that as essential.
And just to make sure that you understand, listen, this is not, Nick Ivana said this before, this is not just for the rich. This is for people who are living on limited means. Listen, just because you don't have a lot of money doesn't mean that you don't have an opportunity to create a financial plan that could get you to where you can have more money or more to achieve financial freedom. You absolutely can do that. So don't think that this conversation does not apply to you because your income is low. No,
right.
Everyone can achieve their financial goals if they have a plan put into place. You just got to get started. You can't let, like Nick Ivana said, you can't let fear drive you. You can't let the what ifs or the I'm in a bad position stop you from
absolutely
that or getting started. Take your head out the sand, put your, your big girl panties on.
That's right.
And let's just do it, because if you don't start today, you're only putting off the inevitable. Listen, you don't want to stay in debt for the rest of your life. That's not a way to live. It's not. That's not what is meant for you. You can have financial freedom. You just got to get started. Get started today. Don't put it off. If you have questions about how to get started, just like Nick Ivana said, message us.
Yes.
Join the Facebook group.
Yes.
And we're more than happy to share with you how you can get started.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? I mean, we've had an amazing conversation to this morning about budgeting and how we can turn that mental thought of I deserve it from being a negative connotation to a positive connotation. So we absolutely want you to deserve it. We want you to win. We want you to be walking in those things that you want to be walking in. We want you to have that financial security level. We want you to be at that financial secure level that you feel comfortable with. We want you to get those things that you want, as well as have all of your needs taken care of. We want your family secure. We want them ready to be able to do whatever you have planned out within your budget and within your financial plan. So we definitely thank you for joining us this morning. And you can get in contact with us by reaching out to us through email, and definitely let us know what your comments, your feedback, your questions are, because we want to be able to talk about those things here on the show. We want to make sure that you are what you're saying and what you want to know is very important to us, and we want to address those things. So please make sure that you let us know your feelings. Let us know anything that you want to share with us in regards to finances. We absolutely want to know. And we also have a Facebook page, a private group, Facebook group for our Ground Zero Minding Your Money Tribe. And as you begin to talk to us through email, we absolutely will put you in that group, and we're going to take a deeper dive into all things finances. So we will have greater discussions on all different types of topics when it comes to money. So we do look forward to adding you to the ones that are already in our Facebook group, and who we do call our tribe, our Ground Zero tribe. And so we look forward to you being a part of that tribe as well. So thank you for joining us this morning. I'm going to pass it off to my co-host, Anissa, and we will see you tomorrow, next week.
Next week. 5:30 Monday morning. We are so glad to have you here today, but we definitely want to see you back next week. Don't forget to sign up to join the Facebook group. We're going to be answering a lot of the questions that you may have, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Take care and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.